Welcome back to Gut Check Time. I'm your host. Today we'll be talking about NFL Week 14 gambling picks. Before that, can you please hit that like button? Please subscribe down below. Really helps out the channel. Thank you. First game we're going to be talking about Buffalo versus Baltimore. Potentially a huge game here. Buffalo can win this game and then beat the Patriots later on in the season. They could win that division. I think it'd be the first time and probably one won that division. I believe when Tom Brady was hurt and they missed the playoffs, that was the last time they missed the division. They went 11-5, and I think the Jets won the division that year. Um, I think Buffalo's going to win this game. I think they're going to win this game 27-26. I think Buffalo has a legit top 3 defense in the NFL. I think Baltimore obviously has the best offense in the NFL. The thing is, if you've watched Buffalo this year, and I have the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've watched them very carefully, very closely. They make adjustments after the first 2 or 3 drives on defense. The first 2 or 3 drives, if you don't score, you will not score the whole game, because that is when they're kind of just they're feeling it out. They're kind of like Floyd Mayweather. They feel you out, then they realize your weaknesses, your strengths, and then they sit back and exploit those and stay away from your strengths. So I think that's what's going to happen here. I think the Ravens will score early, but then not be able to score the rest of the game. Could be wrong on that. If I'm wrong on that, they'll probably blow out Buffalo. I don't see that happening though. So I'm taking Buffalo +6, and I'm taking the over of 44. Next up, Denver versus Houston. Denver's getting 9 points here. Last weekend before the Patriots game, I believe this was a 6.5 to 7 point line, depending on where you checked. And then it jumped up because Houston beat New England. This is an overreaction. Houston is a good team. But let me tell you, I think Tom Brady is washed. I don't think he can push the ball down the field anymore. Guess what? Drew Lock can push the ball down the field, and this Texan secondary is not very good. So I think Denver will be able to keep pace in this game. I don't think they'll win, but I think Houston wins this game 28-20. So look at that. That's 8 points. That's still considered, in my opinion, a semi-blowout in the NFL. But guess what? It ain't 9. So I'm taking Denver +9, and I'm taking the over of 42.5. For the simple fact, I believe Deshaun Watson will be able to be kept in check a little bit. Von Miller's come back today. That defense is still very good for my Broncos. The offense is a work in progress with Drew Lock back there, but I think we'll be able to score just many, if not, or almost as many points as the Patriots did, just because I don't believe the Patriots offense is that good at all. I think they're probably mediocre at best. They don't really have many weapons, and Tom Brady can't really, like I said, get the ball down the field like he used to. Next up, San Francisco versus New Orleans. I'm going to take San Francisco to win this game. I don't think they're going to lose 3 out of the 4. They've already lost 2 out of 3. They lost to Seattle, beat Green Bay, and then lost to Baltimore in a kind of a wintry mix last weekend. So, and that was a hell of a game. The best game of the year. It lived up to the hype. Would be fun to see a Super Bowl rematch between those two teams. I believe the 49ers are going to, like I said, win this game. They're not going to lose 3 out of their last 4 games. This is a really good team. Their defense is stacked. Drew Brees is kind of on the same path as I was talking about with Tom Brady. You can see him. He can't really fit it in the tight windows anymore. Can't really throw downfield with any force on the ball. And I said this last year. You saw the numbers start to decline last year. You saw the production start to decline. He's kind of being carried by the run game and the defense. And the run game hasn't been there since Alvin Kamara's gotten banged up a couple weeks ago. So I expect the 49ers to come into the Dome and win this game. So I'm taking San Francisco +2, and I'm taking the under of 44.5 by half a point. Next up, Kansas City versus New England. Is Kansas City's defense real? This question will be answered this week for the simple fact Texans' defense is not great. It's an average defense, and they were able to keep Tom Brady in check. Now, this game is at home for New England. The thing is, if you're Kansas City, you can't let them score more than, in my opinion, 24 points to say, you know what, we have a decent defense. If they score more than that, your defense is just as bad as last year's, because this offense last year than they are this year. So Kansas City, you have to keep them under 24 points for me to take you seriously for a Super Bowl contender. I don't see that happening. I think New England wins this game 31-27. I still don't believe in the defense. Like I said, they're kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde here. They absolutely destroyed the Raiders last week, only giving up, 9 points? And the 6 points was a garbage touchdown at the end. But then you go back in the season, they give a lot of points to Jacksonville, and you see Jacksonville can't really score against anyone. They give up a lot of points to teams like the Titans, and then they shut down the Broncos. So they're kind of weird. I don't really know what to expect from this game, but like I said, I'm taking New England 31-27. I'm taking New England -3, and I'm taking the over 48.5. Seattle versus the Rams is a pick'em, which is ridiculous to me. I'm taking Seattle to win this game. You can play it on the moon. You can play it in the Walmart parking lot. You can play it anywhere you want. Seattle's the better team here. I don't believe in Jared Goff. I think they paid him way too early. You never pay someone too early in sports. In my opinion, I pay them late than early, because the thing is, as you see with Todd Gurley and Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, arthritis in the knees. His knees are going to be shot in probably 3 years, and he's going to be worthless. And he's still got, I believe, 2 to 3 years left on that deal. Jared Goff, the same thing. He's just not good. There's no injury. He's just not a good quarterback. And a lot of that has to do with confidence. I think it's a lot like Mitchell Trubisky. When he has confidence, he plays pretty well. When he doesn't, bad things happen. And the thing is, you don't want a quarterback to rely just on confidence. You want some talent there, and you want someone who is confident at all points, which is possible. We've seen it with the likes of Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, those guys. You can just see it, look at them. They ooze confidence. And Jared Goff, when you look at him, he looks like a scared little boy. Same with Mitchell Trubisky sometimes. So I'm taking Seattle 23-20. I'm taking Seattle under 47. I also had Dallas versus Chicago. We'll just run through this. I had Dallas winning the game, so I was wrong there. And I had Dallas -3 in the over of 42. I believe the over 42 hit, but I would have been wrong on Dallas -2, obviously, or -3, whatever it was. We'll move on to just the straight-up picks now. Washington versus Green Bay. Green Bay wins this game. I like I said last week, I thought Washington could win the game versus Carolina. They did. I did pick Carolina in that game, but I said I would not be shocked if Washington won that game. I would be shocked if they won today. They're not beating Green Bay. Cincy versus Cleveland. Same thing here. I would not be shocked if Cincinnati won this game. I'm taking Cleveland, though. Carolina versus Atlanta. I'm taking Atlanta. Ron Rivera just got fired. I don't even know who stepped in for him. I don't care who did step in for him. I think Atlanta wins this game at home. Detroit versus Minnesota. I'm going to take Minnesota here. They're the better team. I think Detroit covers the spread, though. I think it's like 13. But I'm taking Minnesota straight up. Miami versus the Jets. I'm taking the Jets. Again, Miami could win this game, though. Would not shock me. Indy versus Tampa Bay. I'm taking Indy. They need to bounce back. 2 losses in a row. Last week's loss was terrible. Just a lot of poor execution and poor turnovers. And obviously the block kick as well counts as turnover. And that led to a touchdown, so that was huge. Adam Vinatieri out today, new kicker in. We'll see how he does. I believe he's ex-kicker of Michigan State. Next up, Chargers versus Jacksonville. This could be lose or go home type of thing. Whoever loses this game, I think, might get fired. I don't think Anthony Lynn for sure will get fired. I think it's a coin flip. I think Doug Marrone gets fired if he loses this game. Pittsburgh versus Arizona. I'm taking Arizona here. It's going to be Duck Hodges on the road. His first start on the road since versus the Chargers, but that was a home game. No one comes to Chargers games other than the road team, so that was more of a home game. I'm taking Arizona. Tennessee versus Oakland. I'm taking Oakland here. I think they bounce back. I don't believe in Tennessee just yet. Win this game, and I'll start to believe in you more. They've really surprised me. Ryan Tannehill has not surprised me. I always thought he was a decent quarterback. What did surprise me was Marcus Mariota failing. I've been shocked by that. But hey, I'm not surprised by what Ryan Tannehill is doing. If you give him a run game and you have him throw 20, 25 times, he can be effective. But I'm taking Oakland this game. That'll do it for my gambling picks and straight up predictions. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Thank you.